Hey there fellas, CB from CJB Studios here, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review on my own channel. Now, I have not done a review of a movie in a long time. The last time I did this, it was actually back on Han and Leia's Oldest Son when I was reviewing the Ice Age movies, well, the first 5 of them that were made by Blue Sky before they shut down. And well, that was more of an audio only thing where it was just an image of the poster for like, at around 12 minutes or so with me, talking about it. So this time, instead of, eating up my phone's storage space, I figured, well, how about I do it on camera this time? And what movie is it that I'm going to be reviewing, you might be asking? Well, in case you haven't seen the title of the video, and maybe even the thumbnail, I'm going to be reviewing the Beatles' Yellow Submarine. That's right, folks. I just watched the Beatles' Yellow Submarine today online, thanks to Lisette Garcia. The link to where I was watching it from will be in the description of this video. And simply put, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. Now, I'm already quite new to the movie since this is my first time watching it, so for those of you who haven't seen it yet, stop this video right now, but I'm going to get into the film's plot as best I can, even though I already watched it for the first time, like I said. Alright, so anyways, the plot opens up in a land called Pepperland, where, people like to make music and, spread joy and happiness, but then it gets invaded by these group of blue people called the Blue Meanies, and they hate music. So what do? Well, they have this glove, this giant blue glove that attacks Pepperland, and every time it smashes something, the color drains out from it. And that includes the citizens of Pepperland. Like, they drain, all the color they have just drains out and they become frozen, black and white people. And then, because of the invasion, one of the people who's there, I think it's Fred, he goes to Liverpool in his Yellow Submarine, and he finds the Beatles and asks them to help him save Pepperland. So the Beatles go with Fred, and they travel through a bunch of weird things, such as Albert Einstein's theory, the Sea of Holes, the Sea of Green, the Sky with Diamonds, all a bunch of weird shenanigans, crazy things like that. And then when they finally make it to Pepperland, they disguise themselves as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and to save the citizens of Pepperland, they have to make music in order to, well, free everybody. And of course, along the way, they stumble across this blue creature called the Nowhere Man, whose name is Jeremy, who only talks in rhymes because he's a poet. And of course, with his help, they're able to save Pepperland, and everything is restored. So that's kind of I guess you could call it a too long, don't read review of the movie. Again, this is my first time watching it, so it kind of went by pretty quickly, and, well, I tried to remember it as best I can. But yeah, that was my review on the plot of the movie. But what about the movie itself, aside from the plot? Well, since I just talked about the plot, I gotta say, as weird as it is, given with the animation and stuff, it was a lot of fun. Seeing the Beatles, in animated form, even if they are voiced by 4 different actors when they're talking, which I will get to later on in this review, having them go through different, weird, locations in a Yellow Submarine, it was fun, it was really great. And of course, the songs were a lot of fun too. I was like bobbing my head along to some of them, and I was singing along with a couple of them, like, of course, the theme song, Yellow Submarine, Nowhere Man, All Together Now, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Like, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And of course, there's the animation of the movie. The animation, It is pretty trippy, I gotta admit, but it's trippy in all the best ways. Like, like the textures to, some certain things, the perspective of some of the animation where it looks like it's, excuse me, where it looks like it's 3D even though it's all 2D. It's just, it looks really good, especially for the time. It surprisingly kind of holds up well. And honestly, when I was watching this, looking at the animation, I was like, this movie was way ahead of its time. And to me, because that's what it felt like, it felt like it was ahead of its time. And that goes for the sound design too. There are times where some sound effects would play backwards. And of course, on that note, there are the Beatles themselves. Now, of course, in the movie, they're not actually played by the Beatles up until the very end. Because at the very end of the movie, it fades to live action, and we actually do see the Beatles themselves, there, looking at the audience. And in the movie, up until the end, they're voiced by 4 different actors. Now, I didn't really bother looking up who did their voices in the movie. And of course, well, when it came to the Beatles singing, well, they used the actual songs that, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr themselves did for the film. And, well, yeah. I could go on and on about this movie, even though, again, this was my first time watching it, but simply put, I really love Yellow Submarine. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was so enjoyable. I thought it was really great. The animation, while trippy, it was still a lot of, fun to check out. The voice cast, especially with the Beatles themselves, was really great. The songs were a lot of fun. Honestly, I just think this movie was really good, and I really have to thank Lisette for, sending me a link to watch it. I mean, I could have just looked it up online myself. In fact, I was actually thinking of getting the movie on Blu-ray. Who knows, I actually might, because I still have a lot of leftover money that I used for, that I got for Christmas. But yeah, that was my review on the Beatles, Yellow Submarine. I really, really did like this movie, like I said. And I'll be honest, though, do you guys think the remake could have, been a lot of fun? Because Robert Zemeckis was going to do a remake of the movie, and, well, now that I did see the original, I could see some potential if the remake was gonna happen, had Mars Needs Moms not bombed at the box office, and, well, had Image Movers Digital not shut down, and, well, yeah. I'm not gonna go into that because a lot of other people have already talked about it, and I actually even made a video showing off concept art for the remake. Oh well. Anyways, yeah. Once again, that was my review on the Beatles Yellow Submarine. I know this review is not perfect, but, again, I really liked this movie. It was so much fun, great animation, great songs, great voice cast, just great everything. And again, I have to thank Lisette Garcia for this. So, Lisette, if you're watching this, thank you so much for letting me watch this movie. Even if I could have just, looked it up online myself, like I said, I still liked it regardless, and I would love to watch it again someday. So, this is CJV Studios signing off. Peace and love.